Folks, I know you enjoyed Miss Octavia on one of our previous shows, and she invited us into her home, and she was so gracious and such a wonderful host. Um, we've got another story I know you're going to love, so watch this.
Well, it was way back in a long time ago. And there was this little boy by the name of Johnny. Now, Johnny, he was a type of little feller, if you told him to sit down, he'd stand up. But if you wanted him to stand up, he'd sit down. If you said walk, he'd run. But if you wanted him to run, he'd walk. Well, it was after supper one evening. His mama told him it was bedtime. She said, Johnny, I want you to get up yonder. You get in bed. Don't you get up and don't you be opening up no windows. He's like, all right. As soon as he got in bed and noticed she wasn't coming back up to check on him, he got out of bed. He went over yonder and he opened the window. And outside that window was a woman. And that woman had red lips. And she had long fingers. And she was looking right in at Johnny. And she said, do you know why I've got red lips and long fingers? He said, no! And he slammed the window down, he ran over and he got in bed and he was shivering and shaking. But he finally went to sleep. Well, the next morning Johnny woke up and, well, the sun was a-shining and the birds were a-singing and Johnny thought, whoa, must have been those soup beans I had for supper last night. Gave me some gas, made me have some nightmares. And he forgot about it. Well, that night again, his mama told him, said, Johnny, I want you to get up yonder, you get in bed, don't you get up, and don't you be opening up none of those windows. He's like, all right. And again, as soon as he knowed she wasn't coming back, Johnny got up, he went over yonder and he opened the window. And outside was that woman. And she had red lips and long fingers. And she was looking right in at Johnny. And she said, do you know why I've got red lips and long fingers? She said, no! And he slammed the window down, and got in bed, and he was shivering and shaking. But he finally went to sleep. Well, the next morning he woke up, and again, the birds are singing, the sun is shining, and he's like, bleh, those soup beans have lasted a long time, and he forgot about it. Well, that night again, his mama told him, said, Johnny, get up yonder, get in bed, don't you get up, don't you open up no window. And he's like, all right. And again, as soon as he knowed she wasn't coming back, Johnny got up, he went over yonder, he opened the window, and there was nothing there. Johnny said, hey, that's cool. And he left the window open, and he went to bed, and he went to sleep. But way up in the middle of the night, Johnny woke up. He had a feeling there was something in the room with him. But he thought, well, it's just my imagination. You see, he couldn't see anything because he had his eyes shut. Most people do when they're asleep. He thought, if I just open up my eyeballs, I'll see there ain't nothing in here. It is my imagination. So he opened his eyes. And there, at the foot of his bed, was that woman. And she had red lips and long fingers. And she was looking right at Johnny. And she said, do you know why I've got red lips and long fingers? He said, no. And he pulled the cover up over his head. And he was shivering and shaking, but the cover started being pulled down little by little by little until it lay in a heap at the foot of his bed. And there she was again, right over top of Johnny. And she had red lips and long fingers. And she was looking right at Johnny. And she said, do you know why I've got red lips and long fingers? He said, why? Why do you got red lips and long fingers? And she said, to do this with and that's the truth, and that's the end of that story.
Octavia Sexton is a wonderful storyteller. To hear more about her books and her CDs, or to contact her, the information is on the screen. Give her a call.